Since the first day I was born, I've clicked 100 CPS all the time. What'd you say? You trying to expose me like that? He's so bad. Never try to expose me, bro.
There are so many mistakes that you don't know about or are constantly doing without realizing in drag clicking. This could possibly be a reason why you might not be getting the most CPS on your mouse. One mistake I made was not even finding the sweet spot on my mouse. So that's why in this video, I'm going to be showing you several popular mistakes that everyone does, especially as a beginner. And the goal of this video is to show you those mistakes and correct them with my Flowaze sensei teachings. In the end, knowing these mistakes will help you avoid them and give a better understanding about them. I highly encourage you to watch the whole video as there are many mistakes many people made, including myself, that I want to point out in this video so you don't make those same mistakes as well. Subscribe and like or there will be a simp underneath your bed.
Another really common mistake in drag clicking is people don't use the entire space when they long drag. So what this means is, like, if I'm long dragging, I'll get more CPS when I start from here and I continue my drag all the way till up here. That's where I get the most CPS. If I start from somewhere here, I just won't get the max amount of CPS I can. Try from the beginning of your mouse till the end. So you're using the entire space given from your mouse. It does work, and I even have a comparison just to show you that when I start from the beginning, I get way more CPS than I do when I start from the halfway mark. So you just got your drag clicking mouse, but it can't drag click. Oh my god, what do I do? Once you get your mouse, you can't just expect it to drag click 50 CPS right away. You want to try and use the mouse first. So what I mean by this is try double clicking, try butterfly clicking on the mouse first. Any sort of double clicking on the mouse. What this does is this loosens the switches inside the mouse. And once the switches are loosened, it becomes really easy to drag click on. I say if you got your mouse right away, try to play with it for 3 days or a week or so until you loosen up the switches. For example, when I got my Rookat King 100, I used to get 30 CPS, but the more I butterfly clicked on it, the more I drag clicked on it, the switches just became really loose, and now I get 50 CPS on it. Trust me, in the end it will work out, so don't cry, okay? I'm here for you. Another thing I want to mention is people don't use the correct side of their finger when they're drag clicking, and this is a very important thing to remember, and this will give you the most CPS. So for long dragging, you always want to use the pad of your finger. So it can be any finger, but it just has to be the pad of your finger, the pad. So I'm going to long drag like that, and it'll glide like that. I'm using the entire pad of my finger to drag click on this mouse flat, and I'm registering as many clicks as I can. For short dragging, you want to use the tip of your finger, the tip, and this works on any mouse. Not using the pad, you're using the tip for short dragging. If your mouse is better with taps, just use taps as well. One of the most common mistakes I find in drag clicking is people forget to clean their mouse. Let's say after a whole day I was just drag clicking on the mouse. What this does is the sweat from my fingers just gets on the mouse right here, and this ruins the texture. So if you one day just notice that your drags are much weaker or you're not getting that much CPS, it could possibly be the fact that there is sweat on the mouse button. So all you have to do is just get like a wet tissue paper or anything and just clean. This gets rid of all the sweat from your fingers, and this makes it more smoother in the end. So your drags will be much better if you clean your mouse often. And if you do clean your mouse, you might see an increase in CPS because your finger will just glide more easier down the mouse. The sweat gives it a very slippery texture, and your finger just does not glide well.
The sweet spot is basically a place where your clicks register the most on your mouse. This is a very common beginner mistake, as not knowing your sweet spot can lower your CPS. For example, the M711 Cobra, if you click here or here, you won't get that much CPS. But the M711 sweet spot is right in these corners, and these are the places where I get the most CPS. Same with the Kane 100. If I click here, I don't get that much CPS. But when I do it on the sides, where the sweet spot is, my CPS increases right away. This is a sweet spot. With this Happy Meal toy, the sweet spot is right in the corners up here compared to here. But you have to find your mouse's own sweet spot because each mouse is different. To find it, all you have to do is double click everywhere on the mouse until you find a place registering the most clicks.
Another common mistake is a lot of people that I've seen online, what they do is they over tape their mouse. They just constantly put tape. Just don't do that, okay? Let's say I cover this mouse in so much tape, and when I peel it off, I'm technically peeling off the texture of the mouse. Like, it's not a good idea to over tape your mouse. You can still tape your mouse, but just try not to over tape your mouse. The K100 has like a rubber texture. If I over tape the mouse, it's gonna get rid of that texture, and I don't want that to happen.
Another really common mistake is not even knowing your mouse's software. So for example, this was a mistake with me. I didn't even know the Red Dragon M711 Cobra had a software. It took me like a month to realize that. Type in your company's name. As you can see, I found a drivers and support Rocat. Just go to downloads. If your mouse does not have a software, it doesn't matter. That's not necessary for your mouse to have a software if you want to dry click. Another thing that it depends on is if your mouse company even has a debounce time option. So for the Rocat mice, if you go to advanced settings, yes, they do have a 0 debounce option. I just have this off because it's really annoying to work with a double clicking mouse when you're just generally scrolling around.